Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy. But
how do you feel about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I love Manny, and I'm glad Manny going in too. Manny's one of the dudes that I think definitely deserves to be in. Manny always has been and always will be one of my favorites because of the way he fights. I mean, a guy to come back after being knocked out in his...
Manny Pacquiao is past his prime. He's not.
Many boxing professionals are talking about the upcoming fight between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Oscar de la Hoya, a respected figure in the sport, expressed his full support for Pacquiao. He said he hopes Pacquiao wins and believes he definitely has what it takes to do so. De La Hoya called Pacquiao a true legend in boxing and said that his experience, determination, and strong will still give him a great chance, even against someone younger like Barrios.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs...
He's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Roy Jones Jr. also shared his admiration for Pacquiao. He said that Manny isn't just great because of his record, but because he always took on tough fights throughout his career. Jones said it's exciting to see Pacquiao back in the ring because fans get to watch a legendary fighter in action again. According to Jones, this fight is an opportunity for Manny to remind the world of his greatness and show that even older fighters can still shine. His support echoes the hope many fans have that Manny can prove age is just a number.
But how do you feel about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I love Manny, and I'm glad Manny going in too. Manny's one of the dudes that I think definitely deserves to be in. Manny always has been and always will be one of my favorites because of the way he fights. I mean, a guy to come back after being knocked out in 2 of his first 3 fights, then come back and do all the things that Manny did, that story is also just as awesome as Manny Pacquiao's story. You feel me? I mean, come on. Most guys can't bounce back from a knockout period. He got knocked out early in his career twice and came back and did all this.
Eddie Hearn, a well-known boxing promoter, spoke with both respect and caution. He praised Pacquiao's long and successful career, but warned that being away from the sport for a long time can be dangerous. Hearn said Pacquiao has achieved more than most boxers ever will, but warned that fans should not expect him to perform like he did in his prime. Facing a younger and more active fighter like Barrios will be a tough challenge. Hearn wants people to appreciate Manny's legacy, but also be realistic about what to expect.
It's a very contentious subject, like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's 2 questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up. And people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Ricky Hatton raised a serious concern about allowing older fighters to continue competing at high levels. He said the boxing world sometimes ignores health risks just to promote big names. Hatton thinks a fight between Pacquiao and Barrios is part of a worrying trend where legendary boxers keep returning even when it might not be safe. He spoke from personal experience, comparing it to when Mike Tyson came back to fight. While Hatton respects Manny's ability, he questions whether it's a good idea for him to be in the ring at this stage of his life.
4 years he's fighting for the WBC welterweight title. That's July the 19th in Vegas, ironically. What did you make of that news when you heard it?
Well, it's boxing today, innit? To be honest with you, boxing's thing. If you can let 58-year-old Mike Tyson box a Jake Paul, then Manny Pacquiao coming back at 46 doesn't look too bad, does it? But Manny is coming back, though. You know, Tyson was coming back fighting Jake Paul. Manny's coming back fighting for the world title. But, and I say this with love, you know, how has Manny got his world title shot? He's been retired 6 years. He can't, he's got that on previous successes, hasn't he? You know, to walk straight after being retired so many years ago, straight into a world title fight. How is that allowed possible? What happened? Surely he must have been dropped out of the rankings when he retired. All of a sudden he decided to make a comeback. They put him straight in at number one contender. I think only boxing can answer that.
I think did you say fifth, Joe? He's been already placed fifth in the world ranking.
Fifth in the, how can he be placed back in the top 10?
Comeback fighter.
Yeah, you know, when you've been retired years and, you know, on your previous... He was a hell of a fighter a few years back, but we don't know what he's going to be like today. So, you know, you'd like to think he'd have a couple of warm-up fights so we can say, yeah, and then get him in. But boxing these days, I think the money's everything in it.
You fought both, obviously. In your opinion, who's better? Who's tougher?
I think Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and that sounds rich because he absolutely was probably one of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history, I'd say. You know what I mean? When I see him getting knocked out by Pacquiao on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's in the top 10 of the most destructive knockouts of all time.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit past myself back in the day. You know, I'd had one or two. You know, I wasn't a master of defence like Floyd Mayweather. I'd take 4 to get one in sometimes.
Ben Shalom, another boxing promoter, added his thoughts with a sense of responsibility. He understands the excitement around a Pacquiao fight, but is also concerned about the dangers that come with it. Shalom said it's easy to forget the risks when a big name like Pacquiao is involved. He mentioned that many former champions have suffered long-term damage because they fought for too long. Shalom wants promoters and fans to think about the health of the boxer, not just the money or the show.
Thank you to Manny Pacquiao. Unbelievable career that we may never have a career like that again. I want you to take with you when it comes to Manny Pacquiao is moments. By taking themselves out of a comfort zone, challenging themselves. And Manny Pacquiao is a dinosaur when it last of a dying breed. We're not going to see too many fighters like this ever again. And Pacquiao is going to be the type of fighter that we tell our kids about. Pacquiao has 20 wins, greater than some of your favorite fighters' best win. Manny Pacquiao has 3 Hall of Fame careers in one, winning legit titles in 8 different weight classes. Pacquiao's legacy will age better and better and better. Times go on and on and on. A fighter like Floyd Mayweather, I think his legacy will diminish a little bit. Salute to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time.
Ryan Campbell shared a more balanced opinion. He admitted that Pacquiao is older and clearly not in the same shape as before, but said that some fighters are special and can surprise people. He mentioned George Foreman's famous comeback to prove that great moments can still happen. Campbell said he's not saying Pacquiao will win, but people shouldn't count him out completely. There's always a chance for something unexpected in boxing, especially with a legend like Manny.
Up for a Senate position in the Philippines, so we always know that Manny is a busy man. He gets after it. He also dares to be great, and this is wild news. Look, in the boxing underground rumor mill, this had been floating around for a couple months. We just didn't know if it was going to be for real. Was Manny really going to commit to not just coming back after 4 years away, after just one fight in the last 6 years at age 46, but to come back directly into a title fight against a young, in his prime, active champion, Mario Barrios? It's interesting theater, to say the least. It's a pay-per-view main event, reportedly for July 19th. And we know Manny Pacquiao has always brought big business, but now he's going to bring it in more of the late career George Foreman type of way to etch himself into that record book even further. Can Manny do it? I mean, look, the odds are certainly against him, but there's one thing about certain legends in this game. Think Bernard Hopkins, who fought into a very late age. Some of them, as long as they can physically get themselves into that ring, sometimes they can reproduce magic for one night. So it's a romantic situation. I got cats walking around. Yep. People are excited to see the Pac-Man back. You just got to kind of figure out, is this for real? Is he going to be for real? Or are we going to send him into a physical, violent retirement?
Greg Hackett gives a very direct and honest take. He strips away all the emotional excitement and focuses purely on reality. To him, This fight isn't about legacy or honor. It's just business. Hackett strongly believes that if Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios had faced off when Pacquiao was in his prime, Barrios wouldn't have stood a chance. But times have changed. Now, Hackett argues, Pacquiao isn't the same threat he once was. He says this fight is less about competition and more about selling tickets. It's a strategic move to use Pacquiao's name to draw attention, not necessarily to showcase high-level boxing. In Hackett's eyes, this is more of a marketing opportunity than a serious test of skill. For more unfiltered boxing breakdowns like this, don't forget to follow KO Zone X, where the fight never ends.